How's it going, guys? Today we are continuing our weapon cleaning series by cleaning a good old-fashioned wheel gun. We've also done videos on cleaning AR-15s and striker-fired pistols. There'll be cards popping up if you need to watch those. But let's go ahead and get into cleaning this. This is a Smith & Wesson 357 Magnum. It's got an internal hammer, so we don't even need to worry about cleaning that. So of course, the first thing to do when you are cleaning weapons is to go ahead and confirm that they are clear. With a revolver, you just need to check the cylinders, make sure that all the cylinders are completely empty, make sure your ammo is far away from the table so you don't have any mishaps, and then you're good to start cleaning. If you have a gun that's really, really dirty or you're really meticulous, you may use a solvent cleaner to start cleaning everything. Personally, I like to just use a good gun oil like Lucas oil to do both clean and lubricate the gun afterwards, because some of the solvents, if you don't clean them all the way off, they may be somewhat corrosive to your gun. And also some of these oils now are good enough at cleaning that you don't need the extra breakdown power of the solvent. So when you are cleaning a revolver, the first thing you want to do after you confirm it's clear is you can take your brush and just kind of go over all of the raised edges and make sure that any of that carbon buildup is loosened. And even, just a good brush down to get started. So when you're cleaning revolvers, I do typically like to start by cleaning the barrel and the cylinders first before you get oil all over the gun and it gets really slippery and it may be hard to grip while you are cleaning out some of those tighter areas. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get some of the oil or the cleaner that you're using into those areas just to start soaking that carbon buildup and start the breakdown process. So I've got these little pads in this wand for my Otis cleaning kit. So you get the little pad there on the end of it. You're going to want to get it nice and lubricated and wet from your cleaner. And then from there, you're just going to run it through the barrel once or twice, as well as each of the cylinders, just to start spreading that oil on there and breaking down that carbon. Once you have the oil in all of those cylinders and the barrel, you can go ahead and switch out for your copper cleaning brush. And you're going to want to run this, kind of scrape it back and forth 4 or 5 times and just really scrape up that carbon. You're going to want to rotate it so you're getting a different angle at it in case your bristles are bent down in some areas. And that's really going to loosen up that carbon buildup and break it loose inside of the barrel and those cylinders. From there, I like to take one of these little bore snakes and run it through. This will, again, help kind of spread that lubricant around, and it's also going to pick up all of that carbon that you broke up with that brush. So you can run it through your barrel 2 or 3 times. When you can help it, I always like to go back to front. The barrel was designed for things to go from the back to the front. So if you can help it, I always like to run things through the barrel in that direction. And then you can do the same thing with each of your cylinders. Whenever you're cleaning firearms and you're going through this process, it's also good just to really visually inspect all the surface areas, all the mechanical parts. Make sure that nothing looks out of place, because this is a good time to inspect your firearm for damage, so that if you ever need to use it, you know that it is ready to go. There are no damaged, broken parts on it. And now it's going to be clean and lubricated so it can also function properly. So now that the barrel and the cylinders are clean, we can kind of work on the rest of the firearm. From here, I like to just take a rag or an old t-shirt, get some of my oil on it, and just start wiping it down. You don't need it sopping wet, but you do just want to kind of do a once over of the entire thing, especially these metal framed revolvers and any metal framed firearm in general. You want to just get a good coating of oil over the whole thing. Make sure that you get in all the cracks and crevices. We started at the beginning with our brush, kind of breaking down everything in all the grooves and everything. So now you're picking up all of that residue that you left behind. You also want to make sure on this firearm, this button depresses to help eject all the rounds. So you want to make sure that you depress that and that you clean the inside and the outside of that piece. You may even want to get your brush and go in again, just to make sure that there's no residual carbon buildup inside of it. And if you are using an oil to clean your gun, this also lubricates all of these moving parts so that they're going to slide nice and easy. This groove right here that the cylinder slides into is also somewhere where carbon likes to build up. So if you can either take your rag, or sometimes they'll even will use a Q-tip to clean in that area, just to make sure that I get up as much of that carbon buildup as I can. On these nice shiny guns, it's really easy to tell how much of the carbon is still there, because if it's not shiny and silver, then it's probably a little bit dirty, and you can spend a little bit more time on it. Maybe even grab your brush again and just keep working that carbon, getting all the grooves, and then go wipe it up again afterwards. The other place that's really important to clean is back here where the actual hammer strikes the round. So you want to make sure that you brush it out really well, that you get your rag with oil on it, and you get all that carbon up, and also make sure that that is nice and lubricated. And for a firearm like this, it's not just about the gun functioning properly, but it's also about preserving the firearm, making sure it's got a good coat of oil on it so that it's going to last a lot longer. It's not going to rust or corrode. If you are using a solvent to clean your firearm, you are going to want to make sure that you get all of that solvent off before you start oiling it. Because I am using an oil to clean, it's not as important to make sure that I clean all of that off. But again, the solvent can be corrosive if you left on over time. So you do want to make sure that you get all of that solvent off and then go back and re-oil the entire firearm to really protect it. The other thing that's important to notice is that this firearm has a hidden hammer. You can't actually see it, but if your revolver has an exposed hammer, you're going to make sure that you take a Q-tip or one of these cleaning pads and really clean down into that crevice, all around the hammer. Make sure that the hammer is moving forward and backwards properly, and that is lubricated as well. In terms of cleaning a revolver though, I am going to go ahead and call that clean. Cleaning revolvers is one of the simpler guns to clean, but it's still just as important as all your other firearms to make sure that it is cleaned regularly, especially after heavy use, or if it's your concealed carry weapon, to make sure that it is going to be functioning properly if you ever do need to use it.